Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome back to another bookish video. So today I'm going to be doing the book recommendation tag. MG's Library, Mary Grace, tagged me in this video and I'm going to link her channel and her video down below. Absolutely love her. She's such a sweetheart and she gives such great wholesome recommendations. So everybody go check her out. But I'm so excited to get into this tag. So let's just go ahead and start answering the questions. So the first question is or I guess it's not a question. The first prompt is to recommend a book from your favorite genre. Obviously, if you're new here, you don't know, but if you have been watching my videos for a while, you know I'm the thriller queen, so I'm just gonna hold up all of my favorite thrillers. Ready, go. Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This is a domestic thriller about an abusive relationship and the woman is trying to escape. It will suck you in from page one. It is phenomenal, one of my favorite thrillers of all time. Next up, we have The House We Grew Up In by Lisa Jewell. This is my favorite one of Lisa Jewell's. I love most all of her books. This one is my favorite. It's not super thrillery, so if you get freaked out easily, I think you could read this one no problem. It's very domestic. Again, I love domestic thrillers. It's about a mother who has hoarding disorder and all of her children grow up in this very chaotic household. So it's kind of about the different paths that their lives take and trying to find out how their family got so off the rails. Another one of my favorite British thriller authors is Ruth Ware. I'm gonna recommend The Lying Game from her backlist. It is one of my favorite, if not my very favorite Ruth Ware. It's about girls at a boarding school who got into some nefarious activities and they're all meeting up for the reunion, and it's at a very atmospheric seaside town. I love thrillers that take place by the beach and there's drowning things happening. Did they drown or were they pushed and held under the water, you know? So if you like those kind of vibes, like The Night Swim by Megan Golden, another one of my favorites, then I think you would really like this one. Next up, we have Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. This is about a woman who's in a coma, but she can still, she knows what's going on around her. She just can't move and she can't open her eyes. So she gets to know everything that's going on around her and they think she's in a coma and she's trying to figure out how she ended up that way. It is so good, so twisty. This plot twist,
immaculate.
And finally, I'm sure you saw this coming, my favorite book possibly of all time is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I've never read a better thriller ever. This is my favorite book, possibly ever. It's so good. And I think you should go in blind because if you read the description, it will give little things away where if you didn't know it and you just went in blind, it would catch you off guard from page 10. There are plot twists coming in from page 10. It's amazing. Please, please, please read this book if you haven't. I plan on rereading this soon because, oh my God, I just love it so much. The next prompt is to recommend a short book. For this, I'm gonna recommend Bird Box by Josh Malerman. This is one of my favorite horror books, perfect for the spooky season, and it's only about 250 pages long. Even if you have seen the Netflix movie, I highly suggest you read the book. They are slightly different and I do prefer the book. Next up, a book to screen adaptation that I would recommend is Big Little Lies by Lane Moriarty. I don't know which one I like better. The show is absolutely phenomenal and if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. But the book, I flew through this 500-page book in a day and I never, ever do that. I've read 300-page books in a day, no problem, but a 500-page book, it has to be really enthralling for me to get through it that fast. It is so dramatic. It is so fast-paced. I absolutely love this book. And the show has an all-star cast, Meryl Streep, Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, are you kidding me? phenomenal. Okay, recommend a book that's out of your comfort zone. For this one, I'm gonna go with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's one of my favorite books ever, and I don't like historical fiction, but I think this is done in a way that's really masterful. It basically is outlining this old Hollywood starlet's life, so it's going through all the different decades, and you're not stuck in one historical decade for the whole book, and it's flashing back and forth between like this young starlet in her prime and the like old rich woman that she is today, giving her memoir and finally giving you the dirt on her 7 husbands, because everyone's always wondered who was her true love. So she spills all the tea, and it's crazy, it's twisty, and it's not what you're expecting. It's a romance, it's a mystery, it's historical. It's great. So the next prompt is to recommend a book series. You guys know I am not a big series reader. I mostly only read standalones. Even if there are sequels, I usually don't read them. I don't know why. I like to jump into a fresh new world every single time I pick up a book. But one series that I really do enjoy, and I don't know if y'all would expect this from me, it is Jenny Han's To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I don't know what it is about these books. I just really love Laura Jean. I love her story. I love Peter. I love John. Also, did I just say Peter? Is that his name? Or is that the name of the guy? Yeah, no, his name's Peter. What is that guy's name? Noah.
Before I go, I just want to say it matters not what you've done, but what you do with what you've done for others. Thank you.
Yeah, not a big fan of him. Am a big fan of Peter in these books. This is a YA romance series. I don't usually like YA, and I don't like romance series. I usually only read standalones. There's just something about Laura Jean's character that I really relate to, and I love love triangles. I highly recommend these books. They're very sweet and heartwarming. I want to reread these two. These are just my absolute favorite. The next prompt is just to recommend a standalone. I have so many recommendations for this, but if I had to just choose one, I would say The Humans by Matt Haig. I just read this last month. It absolutely blew me away. I don't know if I just had low expectations or what, but this book, I feel like everyone needs to read it. Like this, if I had a course, like a college course in like Hailey's fundamental reading time, yeah, this would be required reading, okay? I absolutely love and adore this book. If you don't know what it's about, and I don't think you should go in knowing a ton about it, those are my favorite books when you just go in blind and they just knock you off your feet. And this is one that I would highly recommend doing that with. It's basically about an alien who is sent to Earth to do a mission, and things ensue, and it's hilarious. It is so funny. I don't even know like how to categorize this book because it's heartwarming, it's like contemporary, but it's sci-fi, it's humorous. Like,
This book is everything.
highly recommend. Please read this book. Recommend your staple book.
Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Quintessential Hailey book.
The most graphic, insane, twisted thriller you will ever read. Thank me later. The last question is to recommend the books that got you into reading. I would definitely have to say my reading taste has changed a lot from when I first got into reading. I was an avid reader in like elementary and middle school, and I think like the Harry Potter books and the like Aragon books about the dragons, like the Divergent trilogy, like those are the books that really got me into reading at a young age. I was really into like young adult fantasy series, but then I kind of broke off and stopped reading as much in high school. I did read like all of John Green's books whenever they came out in high school, and I would read like you know, the popular things like We Were Liars, Eleanor and Park, all of those. But when I really truly discovered a new love for reading, and I started reading as much as I did back when I was younger, is when I discovered the thriller genre. I'm obsessed with horror movies, so when I found out that you could basically read a horror movie, yeah, I was hooked. And I think the first thriller that I read was Gone Girl, and I read that my junior year of high school. But I thought like, oh, this is the only book that's like this, right? So I didn't know there was like a whole genre of thrillers out there. And then I went to college and I didn't have any friends and I was just bored in my dorm room. So I discovered like Sherry Lapina, Ruth Ware, Lisa Jewell, all of my faves. And I think those ladies are some of my faves because they did spark my renewed joy for reading that I had when I was younger, and I would sit outside in a hammock and read Harry Potter for hours. So yeah, I love all of those thriller authors. I know they have very mixed reviews, and not everybody has my same taste, but that's basically what got me into reading. And lastly, I'm just going to tag some people on the screen and down below that I think should do this tag. And that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. Don't forget to like this video if you liked hanging out with me too. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.